Our mission is to figure out how both Adam and Eve and the serpent could all be aram, how they could all be both naked and subtle. And in order to do that, we're going to have to dig into the meaning of the word aram. Now, in the future, this tool, which is still in beta test, will allow you to be able to directly study on the word aram. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a word and phrase, and we're going to do a search on the word subtlety. S-U-B-T-I-L-T-Y, using the King James spelling. So I do go, and I find 3 words here in the Old Testament, in Genesis, 2 Kings, and Proverbs. I'm going to switch over to Strong's to find if any of these have the same root, aram. And in actual fact, if I come down to Proverbs 1:4, I see that subtlety here has the root 6195, and that the 6195 has our 3 root letters, aram, that it comes from 6193, which is aram, which also has our 3 key letters, and that it goes all the way back to our primitive root, 6191, aram. So this word then is definitely related to the aram of subtle and naked that we are studying. Now, let's read Proverbs 1:4. It says here, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. So this subtlety that is being discussed here is a positive subtlety, because the young man wants and needs the subtlety. So this is not the same kind of subtlety that describes the serpent, because the serpent's subtlety is a negative subtlety. And actually, when we come over here to the words that are used by the King James translators, we're going to find something very, very interesting. And that is, let's read them. We have the word guile, another word prudence, and then subtlety, willy, and wisdom. And what we find here is that some of these words could be negative, and some of them could be positive, and some of them could be both. We already have seen that subtlety concerning the serpent is negative. We now see a much more specific word which is negative, and that is the word guile. Guile, it's very difficult for it to be positive when a person possesses this, and we're going to see an example of how aram for guile, or guile for aram, is used in just a minute. But look here for the word wisdom. Now, wisdom, let's look and see where aram and wisdom are used. Now, once again, normally we do a study that would help us find it directly from aram, but I can't do it yet in this tool. So what I'm going to do is go down to Proverbs here, and it's in Proverbs 8:5. And we'll go there. We're still in Strong's, and in verse 5, we'll see here that the word for wisdom is 6195, the same as our word for subtlety. Okay, now, is it positive or is it negative? O you simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be you of an understanding heart. So the wisdom here is for the simple so that they can understand. This is a positive wisdom. So aram can be positive. That is very clear. Now let's look at the word guile. So we're going to come here and, okay, we'll stay in reference because I've already located it for you, but you'd have to do this study yourself. And this one is in Exodus 21 and verse 14. So we go there, Exodus 21:14. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile. Now look at that, 61:95. So it's exactly the same here as alma. Now here it is clear that the guile is negative. So we have the same word, aram, describing Adam and Eve on one side and the serpent on the other, and the same word can be used positively for wisdom and the right type of craftiness, of subtlety, of prudence in a very positive way, and it can also be used very negatively for wrong type of subtlety, and specifically and especially as translated here with the word guile. So now we're beginning to understand that the subtlety and the nakedness referring to the serpent is a negative, whereas the wisdom and the prudence and the subtlety referring to Adam and Eve, those are positive characteristics.